Okay. Trying this one again. Thanks, everybody. International finance. We're looking at the um, second half of the problems for foreign exchange markets. Yeah, my laptop has a wonderful hardware mute button. So if you happen to open the video before this and didn't hear anything, that's because I successfully recorded it without any sound. So trying it again. So when last we looked, we worked through the first few questions. Now we're on to the second half of the assignment. And so in this part, I would say the theme here is we're trying to work on really unit conversions. So you can think, in a, I don't know, if you were in a chemistry class or like a physics class, where you say, okay, well, I have 7 feet, and then if I multiply 7 feet times 1 yard divided by 3 feet, then the feet would cancel, and you would get 7/3 yards, and that would be great, right? It's you can sort of cancel the words, keep the number, and move on. That's really what we'll kind of be doing with these currencies, right? Is we'll have some currency like dollars, and then we'll multiply with dollars on the bottom with some other currency on the top. The dollars will cancel. If it's direct quote, where one of the two numbers is just 1, right? But if it's direct quote if you're an American and it's a direct quote for dollars, that number is going to be in the denominator, right? Because we want dollars on the bottom. And then, if we're doing a round trip, and so then dollars will be on the bottom, and then it'll come back on the top again. And so the best way to do bookkeeping on these problems, to know, like, well, should I divide or multiply by this? How do you even know? Is to actually write out the unit conversions to keep track. So that's what I'm going to do when I demonstrate these questions. So question 5 is, suppose the bid to buy euros for an American investor is, some number. The ask is something different, a little bit bigger. All right, so we've got an American investor that's purchasing they've got $16 million. I'm going to buy some euros and then sell them and buy dollars back. So, and the question is, how much would that cost? And that's a good way to sort of assess, like, how much, what's the transaction cost for getting things done in this kind of currency. So we'll start with the 60 million. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up a paint program so I can draw here. My favorite, paint.net. Zoom in a little bit. Get out the brush. All right, so we said we were starting with $16 million. Oh, just a sec. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. That would have been a good use of a mic switch. I don't want to risk it anymore. All right, $16 million. And, right, so what are we going to do? We're buying some euros, and then we're going to buy some dollars and be done. So what does that mean? We're going to have dollars in the bottom, right? And we're going to have euros in the top, because we want the dollars to cancel and euros to exist, right? And so then we'll get this to cancel, and we'll just have euros. And then, right, and then we're going to put euros on the bottom to get that to cancel. And we're going to have dollars on the top. And then that will cancel. And we'll just be left with dollars. Right, equals dollars. So that's what we're going to do. Right? We already know what we're going to do. It's going to look like this. So the question is now, we need numbers here. And we need to know which one is a 1. Right? One of these two will be a 1. One of these two will be a 1. So how do we know which? Well, let's look. So in this problem, we have dollars. Right? These are direct quotes from the perspective of American. So they're, right, we're saying that euros cost $1.34, right? And so we'll say, okay, what does that mean? 1 euro costs $1.34, right? So now we need more digits than that. And, right, are we paying $1.34.46 or $1.34.50? Well, the answer to that question is, the easiest way to think about it is the house always wins, right? So if I am doing this, right, I want this to, it's not that I want it, but that's how it's going to be. This product, right, will be the smallest number possible given the choices, right? That's what the market maker will do for me. They'll say, okay, well, we have two numbers, and we'll give you the one that, we'll give you the one that forces us to give you the smallest number of euros, right? So this is in the denominator, so we want this number to be as big as possible, right? Because the bigger this number, the smaller this product is. Okay, so we're at 134. So what is bigger, 134.50 or 134.46? Well, 134.50 is bigger, right? So I'll put 134.50 here. And now, right, and looking over here, right, we know that this is going to be the one, because again, direct quote. And we want this to be as small as possible. That's how they give us the least amount of dollars back. So that's where we'll get that 134.46. Right? So, right, I kind of mapped it all out at first to know what I was doing, and then I just wrote in the relevant things. And now that's all done, it's all set up, and we can just do multiplication, right? So if I have my calculator here, I'll say 16 divided by, right, 1.3450 times 1.3446. Okay, so we get this 1599.52. Right? Now, so that we started with 16 million, we ended up with 15.99 million. So I'm going to subtract 16 here. There's our loss, right? That's our loss in millions. So let's convert it to dollars. So I'm just going to multiply by a million. And we get $4,758. So I'm going to copy that and put it in the answer. Now, total cost, we don't do negative costs. Costs are positive. So I'm going to delete that sign. But we know it's a loss, right? It's just, we don't say, right? We wouldn't say a burger costs negative $4.20. We would say it costs $4.20. Check. See if we win. It's good. Right? Of course, we can, it's always good we can see what the AI has to say about this problem. Right? They don't typically get these right, but they will often give you a good description about how to set it up. It's not perfect, but it sometimes is helpful to see what it thinks is a good idea. So we're gonna just go ahead and ask it. And we know what it's supposed to look like, right? We've already done the picture. So we know it's supposed to look like 16 divided by 134.50 and times 134.46. So what is it doing? So it's going to take the 16 and it's going to divide by 134.50, right? So there it is. It's doing that. And then it's going to multiply by 134.46, right? So it got the division right, and it got the multiplication right. But then, right, so this is just totally wrong. So what happens, right? It can set this up, but then it does this incorrectly, right? This does not equal that, most likely. And this does not equal that, most likely. So don't trust it to do math, but it's cool. Like it's handy to like, right? It got the setup right? This is right. This is right. I mean this part's right, not these numbers, right? So it's not terrible to have it like serve as like a buddy, a little buddy, sort of like having a friend who's not good at this either and has some ideas. Anyway, so that's this one. Question 6 is similar. You'll see it's similar, but not the same. So we're going to do the same. Now, where are we at? We're at $20 million, right? So we have $20 million. We're doing euros and back, so it's the same kind of transaction. So I'm going to put the 20 here. 20 here. Get the 20 million. And so we know, same deal, right? Dollars on the bottom, euros on the top, big line. Dollars on the top, euros on the bottom, line. But now our quotes are different. Right now we have indirect quotes. So we have 746 euros per dollar. So, right, 7, 4, 6. And we have to be careful. Do we want to do 746 or 746.50? Well, again, it would be whatever gives us the fewest amount of euros. So, which do we want here? 20 times 746 or 20 times 746.50? Well, 20 times 746. That would force the market maker to distribute the smallest amount of euros. And then, of course, down here, we'll do 746.50 because now we're on the denominator, so that will make the market maker distribute the smallest amount of dollars. Right, but we still have dollars cancel with dollars, euros cancel with euros. We're back to dollars. And so we'll do our calculator again. So 20 times 0.746 divided by 0.7465. All right. So again, that's our 19.9866 million. So subtract the 20, multiply by a million, get 13. All right, copy that, paste it in here. And when I get rid of the negative, see if we win. Correct. All right, so that's where, right, so we flipped the dividing and multiplying, and we knew to do that because it was required by the way the quotes and the canceling were arranged, right? Right, let's try good old ChatGPT. Send it. It's going to think. All right, so it's multiplying by 0.7465. Is that right? No. And then it's dividing by 746. So in this case, it actually set it up wrong. So yeah. So that's less than helpful. I wonder how Meta AI does. That's the Facebook one. Let's see if Facebook. $49. Well, that's interesting. So did it? Okay, it's dividing by 746, which is wrong. And then it's multiplying by 746.50, which is wrong. So, oh well. I wonder if actually the language is confusing in this case, right? Because it says the indirect bid to buy euros from American Investor. Well, anyway, no luck either way. But if you think about it from the perspective of the market maker, then you won't go amiss, right? They'll be in good shape. Okay, so now let's think about question 7. So question 7, we have these bid-ask spreads, just like before, but now we have 3 currencies, right? We've got euros, we've got dollars, and we've got yen. And so I've got, right, and we're thinking about what will happen if I take my 19 million euros and buy yen with it. Okay, so how did dollars get involved, right? So this is a cross exchange rate phenomenon, right, where we don't have a direct quote for yen and euros. We don't have one. So you, as the investor that owns euros, transact into dollars to then go get yen. So that's this, when people talk about the dollar is the global reserve currency, this is kind of what they mean, right? Where to get things done, you route through the dollar because that's where the liquid markets are. And so now for us, we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to think about, again, we have to think about the market maker problem and just make sure that between the bid and the ask, we're doing the thing that that makes the market, that the house gets their cut. So we can map this out, right? We can map this out. What are we doing? So right now we have euros, right? Right now we have euros, which means what's going to happen? We need to have euros on the bottom, which means we're going to have dollars on the top. And then, right, we're going to have, draw a line, we're going to have dollars on the bottom and yen on the top. Yen on the top. And then we're going to end up with yen, right? We know that's happening. So that really helps because now we can do the same. We know, so we have 19 million euros in this case. 19 million euros. I have this set up. So say, okay, what's my dollars per euro? So look, I've got that quote. So dollars are going on the top, right? So I could either do 134.44 or 134.47. And I'm a market maker, right? So I want to have the fewest, I want to distribute the least dollars I can, which means I want this number to be as small as possible, right? So 134.44 is smaller than 134.47. So we'll put the 134.44 here. And then, right, on this other side, again, we have these two numbers here. Dollars is in the bottom, so we want the biggest possible number here because that's going to make the product the smallest. Again, market maker distributing the smallest number of yen, so you want to have the biggest number here. So we've got a penny 001 or a penny 003. So we'll do a penny 003. 0.01003. This is why the yen is usually an indirect quote because you get these tiny decimals. But anyway, right? Euros cancel euros, dollars cancel with dollars, and we get yen. And that's, I believe, the question, right? It wants to know what's the total amount of yen after you buy this. Okay, so now we'll do the multiplying. We'll do it all out, all right? So 19 times 1.3444, right, divided by 0.0100. Now, I think I missed a zero. Be careful of that. 3 zeros before the 3. Okay, so 2,000 million. So 2 billion. Going to multiply by a million. There it is, the 2 billion. And that makes sense because, right, if I have 19 million euros, I'm in the tens place on a euros, and euros are roughly 100 times bigger than the yen. And so we would move from millions to billions, but then go from 20 billion to 2 billion. It's 2 zeros roughly. It makes sense. That's a good sort of way to sanity check. So I'm going to copy and paste this in here. And again, it doesn't matter if you give it tons of extra digits. Let's check. Got it. And let's just see what the AI has to say. So we know what this is supposed to look like, right? Oops, we know it's supposed to be dollars on the top, and then direct quote for yen on the bottom. So did it get the 134 on the top? Yes, it did. Did it get the 0.010003 on the bottom? Yes, it did. So that's not too bad. Now, of course, I just did not. Wait, let's see. Did it even? I wonder if did it close 2553593. 2553593. 2553384. Well, I mean, no. It's all right though. It's better than it usually does, so that's good. So that's question 7. Question 8 is similar, right? So you've got euros, you're trying to buy yen. Numbers are different, so I'll let you do that one. So let's look at number 9. So suppose the direct exchange rate for euros for an American investor is, all right, so what are we doing here? We have 3 currencies again, right? We've got euros, we've got the Thai baht, and we have dollars. Okay, and now we're going to do a round trip profit for a triangle arbitrage. Okay, meaning what? So we're going to take, we've got $18 million. We're going to start with dollars. We're going to buy euros, and then we're going to buy baht, and then we're going to buy dollars. Now, why not do dollars, baht, euros, dollars? That's a great question. So we don't actually know which of those 2 paths is going to be the smart one. Luckily, it pretty much doesn't matter. So why? So let's say that I could turn $10 into 10 euros into 10 baht into $9. So I go, a 1 for 1 and a 1 for 1 and then a slightly less one than 1 for 1. So what did I do? If I did that, I turned $10 into $9. So I lose, right? But that's fine because all we do is do it backwards. So right, I could turn $9 into 10 baht into 10 euros into $10. So if we figure it out, if we just pick a direction, if we get a negative number, just do it backwards, and that's your positive profit. We don't even have to recalculate it because it's just going to give you the same number, but with a positive number. So yeah, we don't actually care. So we'll just pick a direction and just go for it. So let's draw out the map. So we're starting with dollars, right? Starting with dollars. So how does this look? So we start with dollars. And what did it say? It was 18 million. So we got $18 million. Okay, and then what do? Dollars on the bottom. Euros on the top. Then euros on the bottom, Thai baht on the top. Then Thai baht on the bottom, dollars on the top. And so yeah. Oh, fun fact, the right, the S, so the S with two lines through it, right? That's American dollars, but it sort of was originally S with a one line through it, because actually what it was, right? Because if this is what it was. You had pesos, Pesos, right? Which comes from piece of eight, like like pirate treasure or whatever. It's a very popular coin in the 17th century, right? So, but like a bookkeeper, that would be really annoying. So they would just write PS, like that. They would just write PS, and then they just dropped the roundy part of the P. So they would just draw the line of the P and then S, and that's how, the one, and then so the American version is, we'll just bedazzle it with an extra line, but it comes from pesos, which comes from piece of eight. Okay, so we're setting this up. So we've got our some stuff. So we just need to fill in these numbers here. So what are we doing? We've got we need the dollars to euros. So here's dollars to euros, 1.0911, right? 1.0911. It's nice in this case we don't have to worry about bid-ask spreads. I mean, in reality you do, but for the purposes of this problem, we are keeping it simple. So now I need euros to baht. So the direct exchange rate for a Thai investor in the euro is this, right? So they weren't presented in order. So we'll do euros to baht, 39.7876. Euros to baht. And the baht was the direct quote, 39.7876. €1. And then baht to dollars is here, right? And it's a direct quote for Thai baht, 36.6198. Oops. 36.6198 to $1. And then, right, we had dollars cancel with dollars, and euros cancel with euros, and Thai baht cancel with Thai baht, and you end up with dollars, right? So did our little triangle trip, and let's see what we get. So I've got $18 million. I'm going to divide by 1.0911, and then multiply by 39.7876, and then divide by 36.6198, and then multiply by, and then so we had 18 million, now we have 17.92 million, so I'm going to subtract 18 million from this and get negative 0.07 millions. So then I'll multiply by a million, right? 1, 2, multiply by a million. All right, we're out 75 grand. So of course we're just going to go the other way, right? So instead of buying euros, we're going to buy baht, go the other direction, and we'll end up 75 grand. So I'm just going to copy this, go ahead and throw it right in the problem, get rid of that negative number because we're just going to do this backwards, and we should end up with a happy, correct answer. All right, as per usual, let's see how the AI is doing. See if it has anything to say. Hopefully it sets up the transactions. I wonder if it will see, because what the smart way to go was what? Baht first, right? So let's see if it's smart enough to know to do that. So it's going to do euros first, and then it's going to do baht. So it didn't do it the smart way, but it might be smart enough to, all right, there we go. So the round trip profit, right? It's losing money. Yeah, I mean, Wait, what? So, yeah, I mean, it's backwards, right? But it, like, doesn't care, apparently. That's wrong, right? Yeah, it's wrong. But that's okay. I mean, it did all right. It did okay. It kind of, I mean, again, it spells it out, so that's good. Yeah, and the number 10 is same kind of thing. Just with some scrambled numbers. So, so that's the the our little our reattempted coaching on the second half of that assignment, and I'll and good luck with the rest of these, and then I'll catch you in the next chapter.